time bought by AJ Dehany, and he is now joined by Sarah Mann. They're involved with a project called 29 Plays Later. We will find out more about it after this, but for now they're going to do a scene of Spiral Jetty, a short play about Barry Marshall, who won the Nobel Prize after infecting himself to prove that the origin of peptic ulcer is bacterial. In this scene, he confesses to his wife.
Barry!
Just a bit out of puff.
Are you going to tell me what's going on? I've watched your condition deteriorate over the weeks, and I've kept my mouth shut. But this is it.
It's something we discussed a few months ago. The self-experiment. You agreed we needed to fast-track the research. I didn't know if it would work.
You've infected yourself.
I got the bacteria from the patient with gastritis and cultured them, then worked out which antibiotics could kill his infection in the lab. Bismuth plus metronidazole. I treated him and did an endoscopy to make sure his infection was gone. After that I swizzled the organisms around in a cloudy broth and drank it the next morning.
Just like that.
Today I had an endoscopy. The bacteria are everywhere. There's all this inflammation and gastritis has developed.
You pick your moments, don't you? It's only 3 weeks since the car accident. I've got cracked ribs and I'm still sore from the whiplash, and now I'm caring for 4 children, as well as a husband who's getting worse by the day. And what if you transmit the bacteria to me or the children?
I didn't really think about that.
We're getting older. We're in our 30s now. And you still have this belief that you're invincible.
It was selfish of me, especially after the crash. But you agreed.
In principle. Are you going to make me a widow?
Adrienne.
And your children orphans? For science? For what?
A successful infection with Helicobacter would point towards a career in clinical research.
Exciting, but not financially secure, Barry.
We can talk about it when the family settles down a bit. Hey.
Promise me you'll stop this now and take the antibiotic. You're sick.
Just give me 2 more days, Adrienne. Then I'll take the antibiotic.
Now, Barry.
You know that Helicobacter infection starts in childhood, when you're toddling around eating dirty things and playing with your dirty little brothers and sisters. You don't remember getting it because you get it before you can even talk.
My ribs are aching. Unfortunately not from laughing, though maybe I should laugh. Why did I marry a scientist?
It'll win us the Nobel Prize, believe me. Just give me till the weekend.
I'm just shocked that you do this without telling me. Risk your life and ours just for your career. Maybe think about that. You can have until the weekend.
Yeah! Awesome. Nothing like a little bit of drama to round off what has been a rather dramatic 4.5 hours. Yes, fantastic. Now, joining me on the microphones, I have both AJ.
Yes, hi.
And Sarah.
Hey,
I'm not really Australian.
No,
believe it
I
or
think
not.
it's Sarah.
those convincing accents.
Uncanny, honestly, amazing.
We've spent 2 hours in the cafe laughing at the total drivel that we've written over the past 12 days.
What can you tell us about what you've written? 29 Plays Later. Come on, who's...
So, well, basically what it is, it's a project run by The Space, which is a really good performance area. It does really interesting work, but they just want people to write more and be less self-conscious about what they write. So basically, you have to write a play a day for 29 days over February. Last year it was 28 days. It's just unfortunate that AJ and I signed up to do it in a leap year. But I mean, it's not about... We chose that because it's very silly and it's something that AJ wrote to be very serious.
Yes.
And it kind of ended up not being serious.
The thing that happens with these plays is when you're trying to be serious and meaningful, it's hilarious. And when you're trying to be funny, it's not funny.
Yeah, and you just find yourself writing whatever's in your head. So, you know, we read one play today which I wrote, which is set on the moon, and someone dies by getting hit with a moon pigeon. Someone dies by getting hit in the face by a moon pigeon. You know, and we've written musicals and. We've written plays about sexuality. We get sent a brief every day and you have to respond. So one day it might be write a play based on the funniest thing you've ever heard. Another day it might be write a play set in an aeroplane. And you have to respond to the brief. But I mean, it's properly mental and it's a little bit traumatic.
It's pretty traumatic, yeah. I think there's a hashtag 29 Plays Later, and I've just seen it get quieter and quieter over the past 12 days.
And you know, like it's basically an endurance race, so everyone signs up, you pay a bit of money, and that goes into a pot, and then at the end of 29 days, if you've managed to submit a play every day, you get a share of the pot back. So if you stick at it, in theory, you should get your entry fee.
Yeah, I think last year the participants at the end, at the bitter end, got about 22p a play.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is per word, but...
Do you foresee any of these plays? Do you see yourselves developing any of these? I mean, you must be coming up with some ideas that you hadn't quite...
Well, I did until we went through them earlier on today and realised how hilarious they were. But I'm writing most of them for radio so that I can record them, because it's much easier to produce them rather than trying to get them on stage, particularly when they're terrible. But, like, you know, so to do it that way means that they're actually present in a form that is a performance.
Yeah. And there's something great about being given the freedom to write something that's a bit rubbish. Actually, do you know what I mean? When people expect it to be a bit rubbish because you don't have time to edit or kind of really think in sort of expansive terms about your standards.
It takes you out of that self-consciousness and you get into the story and just try and get something down.
Well, look, AJ and Sarah, thank you so much for coming in and performing a little bit of 29 Plays Later. Look it up online, find out more about it. We are at the end of the show. This, of course, is day one of our 9-day marathon here at Resonance FM. Fundraising over the next 9 days. Yes, please get used to it. Please chip in if you haven't done already. I would, at this point, like to quickly point out the next Saturday, the 20th of February, we will have live music as always. Emily Capel, Spinning Coin and Stuff, all here in the studio. It will be the Pay As You Go Hello Goodbye Show Part 2, another extended airing, on air from 10 o'clock in the morning till 1:30 lunchtime. Here we go. I would like to thank you, the listeners. Thank you to Ilya Rogochevsky, Tom Kemp, The Wave Pictures, Drumhorn Connection, formerly Melody Spires, Nadine Khoury, Asondas, and of course all of those who contributed. Right, this is long and it's going to go on for a while. Unit, Madame Pamita, Sarah Stanley and the Starlights, Piper's Son, Sean Hendry, Castellando 68, Graham Brown, Grey Bags, Jamie Cole, Henry Cutler, Nick Goddard, Johnny Brown, the Band of Holy Joy, Ian Krause, Adam Beluski, the Scorpios, Wes Blake, Keely Forsyth, Paul and Shaw. Now, Motto Records, Chips for the Floor, The Fifth Runway, Steve Rushton, Skin Jobs, Richard Wilson, Adam Latham, Sebastian Nurlock, Simone Goldgate, Ninga Molly, Daniel Edelstein, Black Records, Paul Stuckey, Joe Murphy, Andrew Kerr, Dog Chocolate, Nigel Hayes, Tim Siddle, Dave Hull, the Cockney Street Triad Team Band, Rainproof Mob, Dino Hallett, Clio Hallett, Rowan, Robin and Sylvie, Technology and Teamwork, Robin Price, CRX 091081GP, Rack and Row, Eddie Harrington, Dirty Bid, Sexton Ming, Robin Warren, Hal Loud, Ex Gracia, Recordings, Bromide, and last but by no means least, Lordship Lane Carpets. Encore! £129.70 and it's still rising. Please do contribute. Visit resonancefm.com, donate on the donate page, go to fundraiser.resonance.fm to find out some certain goodies you can buy. That does wrap it all up. Please do stay tuned. Coming up next, music from the Congo with Vince and Nostalgia, yeah, and Boca. And perhaps if AJ and Sarah would please come to the mics and say... Hello. Then maybe Mo and Ochi will come up and say...
Goodbye.
My God, we did it!